And so I started thinking to myself, well, if we're moving into this, we're going to have to expect new leaders. We're going to have to expect this new kind of, forefront of religion that's going to come forward and, save the planet as such. Well, that's how they're going to deal with it.
Sell it to us, yeah.
Yeah. How are you going to sell it to us? Come
Yeah.
on, give us your best shot. Basically, I started looking towards royalty because obviously, royalty seems to be where it's at in the sense of the coat of arms of Great Britain. It's on there. But everywhere I look, it always leads me to royalty. It's a bit like David Icon's reptilian kind of stuff. It always kind of leads to this weird thing, whatever you want to call it. And obviously, William is a symbolic person within the continuation of the royal family and everything. But basically, I've nothing to go on at first, and I just had this real small whim. And I thought, Diana, is she going to be the personification of ISIS? Is she going to be the next person to be identified with this god? And thinking it through, I was like, quite probably not, but let's have a look anyhow. May as well have a look. And so basically, to just talk about ISIS a little bit. Isis is a moon goddess, so symbolised by the moon, and she can be identified with the Greek god Artemis. She can be identified with the Roman god Diana, and the angel Gabriel, which is the Holy Ghost. And she's always the third in the Trinity. She's the apex of the pyramid.
Yeah.
She's the all-seeing eye, and this is correlated because if you watch, for instance, the film Constantine with Keanu Reeves. I only watched this the other week, but there's a scene in there where there's a particular actor who plays the angel Gabriel, and Keanu Reeves walks up to her. He says, "What have you been seeing with your all-seeing eye of late?"
Yes, I spoke with the bishop.
Yes. I know what you want, son.
Still keeping your all-seeing eye on me. I'm flattered.
Right. No one would pick up on that unless you knew if you read this stuff, but it was there.
Yeah.
There was obviously the connection between the all-seeing eye and the angel Gabriel.
Yeah.
So, out comes Google, as it does, and I started doing a search for Princess Diana and Isis. So the first thing I stumbled across, Princess Diana's perfume, her official perfume, is called Isis. So, it's quite a good connection for a start. She's only got one official perfume and it's called Isis. So you start looking into things a bit more, and then you see that Princess Diana has got a memorial, which is a ring of water, and it's in the Serpentine, right next to Buckingham Palace in London. And I went down there to have a look at it and see if I could see anything else. But basically, this ring has east and west kind of flows of water, and the flow down this ring, and then at the other end they conjoin, so east and west meet. So if you think of that symbology of East and West meeting, Islam and Christianity conjoining, do you know what I mean? The whole idea of unifying something into one.
Yeah.
So there's the symbology of the unification of two extremes in this ring of water. But basically, if you look into Isis, she's identified with the Holy Ghost, as I've said, and the angel Gabriel. And now in the film The Lord of the Rings, which is an esoteric piece of work by J.R. Tolkien. Obviously, everyone knows the Lord of the Rings because it's been put on the cinema screens. But there's a character in there called Galadriel. And if you look into the history of the character Galadriel, she was identified with the angel Gabriel. I.e., that's what she was. That's what she's symbolic for.
Yeah.
And she was the wearer of a water ring. She controlled the water ring. So obviously, you've got Princess Diana, water ring memorial, where East and West meet, combined with the angel Gabriel in Lord of the Rings, or Galadriel being the water ring bearer. So you've got this symbolic figure and this this symbolism running throughout. So moving on to the next thing, how else can I identify Diana with Isis? And so you start looking at the Pont d'Alma, where she died, where she had a horrific car crash. Obviously there's stuff on the internet already that insinuates that the Pont d'Alma was a pagan sacrificial site. And it was used ritually for hundreds of years, prior to the modernisation of the area.
Right.
Outside of the tunnel, we have a Flame of Liberty, which is in tribute to Diana's passing.
Yeah.
The Flame of Liberty, which is similar to the Olympic torch. Well, in fact, it is the Olympic torch. But if you think about the Flame of Liberty, and then you think to the Statue of Liberty in New York, the Statue of Liberty, Graham Hancock and Robert Bauval will all state that the Statue of Liberty in New York is symbolic for ISIS. And outside where Diana died, you've got this, Flame of Liberty statue, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And again, if you go back to the Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall, ISIS carries with her the sacred fire religiously preserved and kept burning in a special temple by the Vestal Virgin. The fire is genuine, immortal flame of ISIS. So symbolically, what she's got outside the Pont d'Alma is a connection to ISIS yet again. So moving on, I'd got wind of a tribute in Harrods, and this is where obviously, do you know much about the Diana murder inquest and everything that goes with it?
Much of it, not all the details, but the overarching story is very familiar to me. Yes. Right.
Yeah. Obviously, there's the whole conspiracy, the idea that she was murdered, and Al Fayed believed that she was murdered, and there's the fight with the royal family, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to Harrods, and this is where it's proof that both sides are in on the same act, and this shows that this whole idea of the conspiracy of the murder of Princess Diana is all part of the intended stage play that's been going on all along. In the Harrods, I went up to a woman and I said, "Where's the Princess Diana memorial?" She went, "Oh, it's in the Egyptian staircase." So I was like, "You're joking me." So I get led to this Egyptian staircase, and you go in, it's real. I've been to Egypt, and it's pretty much exactly the same as what you'd expect in Egypt. Real grand, golden looking, like staircase with escalators in it and stuff like that, and loads of cheap perfumes, well not cheap, really expensive perfumes on sale.
Yeah.
And you walk over to the shrine of Princess Diana and Dodi Al Fayed, and you've got these two pictures. You've got obviously Diana and Dodi. Think about that. You've got Christianity and you've got Islam.
Right.
And these two pictures are being symbolically held up by a dove. And the dove is also attributed to the Holy Ghost, which is the same thing as the angel Gabriel and everything else that goes with it. So you've got symbology there. Below these two photographs, you've got a pyramid, right? A 3D pyramid with a time glass in it. So symbolic to pyramids and time and stuff.
Yeah.
Then on either side of that, you've got two very tall candles, looking like a number 11 and also looking like the two pillars of Freemasonry that ISIS is standing between. So what I'm here and proposing today is that essentially we have got Princess Diana being identified with the fertility god of ISIS.
Very interesting. Do you have, by the way, taken any pictures of this memorial?
I've got photos of it. The problem I've got is I can't write enough in enough time because I work full time as well to get this all out. Do you know what I mean? It's such a big thing to write about.
Of course.
It requires a lot of time.
Yeah.
But basically, so you think about this with the New World Order, they wanted a one world religion. We've got the combination of Christianity and Islam here symbolically in Harrods. Right, and obviously Islam and Christianity both accept the angel Gabriel as a messenger of God. So we've got the proof here that they want to do this with Diana. They want to identify her with ISIS. So what does that make Prince William? If ISIS is, the mother fertility god, that obviously means that William naturally becomes the son.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So looking at this, I thought, right, we have to do a bit of research into William now. And I 6 months ago, someone said that I was going to be researching the royal family. I'd have laughed my head off and said, get away. It doesn't concern me whatsoever. But I've ended up being driven down this path, and it's doing my head in.
Yeah.
but anyhow, Prince William's birthday. He was born on June the 21st. You know when June the 21st is?
That's the summer solstice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, the Son of Most High.
Yeah.
So in the New Testament, the angel Gabriel announced, "He shall be great, and he shall be called the Son of the Most High. The Holy which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of God." Right?
Yeah.
So we've got Prince William's birthday, and it's on the solstice, when the sun is most high.
Yeah.
Right? And then you look into it a bit further. How old is he in 2012?
Probably 33, right?
No, he's 30 years old.
30 years
right?
old, okay, yeah.
Connection here. Jesus began his ministry at age 30.
There you go, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can't get away from this. It's all over these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, symbolically, 30 years old, William's birthday, symbolically can be seen as an XXX in Roman numerology.
That's right, yeah.
And it just so happens that the Olympics 2012 is XXX. So it's the same Olympiad.
Exactly. It's the what does it be? The 30th games,
37.
Summer Olympic Games, XXX.
Yeah. So, right, then you start thinking, you know what I was saying about, for instance, symbology and stuff like that, and you've got McDonald's, and you've got Starbucks, and you've got Schweppes, all like essentially occult symbology that's when people are buying into these things, they're subconsciously buying into this messianic event, as I've stated before.